So welcome back. I'm Ted Thomas. On this episode, I'm going to cover how to get a clear title on a tax deed. Now, this is pretty advanced material, so you're going to have to pay close attention. All right, how to get a clear title on a tax deed. Now, I've been involved in this business for over 25 years. I've been guiding people and teaching people. I've been through most of these things a number of times. So a clear title is very important when it comes to selling the property because the new buyer is going to want a clear title. So this is kind of insider information. I'll give you other information about tax liens and deeds as we go along. But on this particular video, before I finish, I'm going to tell you two mistakes that are made at tax auctions. You don't want to make these mistakes because they could cost you $25,000, even $50,000. So stay tuned until I finish this short video, and I'm coming right back. Okay, this episode is all about how to get a clear title on a tax deed. Now, as you probably have researched already, a tax deed is a result of a tax defaulted auction. You're buying a tax deed from the county. Now, when the county sells you that property, they're going to have to do something about transferring it. When they transfer that property, they're going to have to use some kind of a deed. It could be a sheriff's deed, it could be a treasurer's deed. More than likely, it's going to be a quit claim deed. Now, that deed, when it's passed to you, will have many disclaimers. The disclaimers will tell you that the county is quit claim deeding the property to you. They are transferring it to you. You now own this property. But in the document itself, it will tell you they are disclaiming any responsibility for anything on the property, and they're disclaiming any responsibility for the title. All right, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a CPA, and I'm not a broker. I'm just an entrepreneur who has a lot of experience working in the trenches. There's nothing wrong with a quit claim deed. However, it has disclaimers that give you fits when you're buying, unless you know what to do. So I'm going to teach you what to do right now, and I'm going to make your life really simple, and you can go and clear it all with an attorney and make sure it's all correct. But you're going to receive a quit claim deed. And when you receive that deed, you now own the property. However, when you want to sell it, you've got a challenge because the new buyer is going to say, I want to make sure this is a clear title. The county basically sold you what they just foreclosed on, what they just had an auction on. They don't know all the problems with that property, and nor do you. So that's going to require that all of that will have to be cleared up. So let's go back and review. Let's get a little foundational material here and go through the whole process so you're comfortable. Nothing to be afraid of. We're talking about in this episode how to get a clear title on a tax deed. You have been fortunate. You now have a tax deed. You bought a property. You probably made a bargain price. You maybe got it for 10 or 15 or 20 cents on the dollar. You're feeling real good. And now you're going to want to sell it. And when you want to sell it, everybody's going to want a clear title. But you don't know whether it's clear. The county doesn't know whether it's clear. So you're not buying a clear title when you buy from the county. You're buying a quit claim deed or a treasurer's deed or a sheriff's deed or some deed that will have disclaimers in it. All right, so how did this all happen? Well, this all happened because someone didn't pay their property tax. And property owners in every county in America must pay their property tax. If they don't, the legislature takes action and tells the county treasurer, levy the tax, collect the tax. If they don't pay, confiscate the property. Now you have purchased that confiscated property. So who knows, did it have a lot of liens on the property from 2 or 3 different mortgage holders? Does it have judgments against it from lawsuits? There might be a lot of things. Well, when the county takes the property to sell it, they wipe the slate clean. You bought it clean, but that doesn't keep people from having lawsuits. So you are going to have to get a clear title on this property. How are you going to get that clear title? Write this down or run the video again. If you want a clear title, you're going to have to hire an attorney. Now, I didn't say hire a kid that just got out of law school. You don't want to hire that. You want to get a gray-haired old guy like Ted Thomas that's got 20 or 30 years experience, and you want to get someone that understands this part of real estate, because the title has to be clear, and the attorney will clear the title. Is that going to cost money? Absolutely. It's probably going to cost $3,000 to $5,000, probably going to take 3 to 6 months, but you just bought the bargain of your life because you paid 10 or 20 cents on the dollar. So let's not be afraid of this whole thing. Nothing to be afraid of, but there is a person to do it. Now, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a broker, I'm not a CPA, I'm just an experienced entrepreneur, and I'm giving you the straight scoop. You're going to get what's called a quiet title, and the attorney will do a quiet title action. I learned that because I'm working in the trenches all the time. When I buy a property, I know if I buy a property from the county, that I'm going to get a treasurer's deed or a security deed or a sheriff's deed or a quit claim deed. None of those deeds will be clear title. They're going to say right in them that they disclaim any responsibility for the property. They disclaim any responsibility for the title in the property. So if you're getting the idea, it all started with someone that didn't pay their taxes. The county foreclosed. Okay, the county had an auction. You bought at the auction. You bought it for pennies. You made the deal of your life. Now you're going to have to get the title clear. Or if you want to do the alternative that I do with my clients, what I do is I have my clients sell the property on a contract of sale. I'm not going to teach that in this class. I'll teach it in another class. A contract of sale. You collect the payments. You be the banker. You don't have to clear the title. It's your property. You don't have to do anything. So you go ahead and collect payments for 5 years, and then you can easily get a quiet title. It's not going to be a problem. All right, so if you learned a lot, just let us know, and we'll answer more questions for you. If you're getting good information, just give us a thumbs up from time to time. And if you want to make comments below, you can do that too. So I'm about to finish up, but let me do a quick review. How to get a clear title on a tax deed. Number one, buyer beware. Quit claim deed will have provisions, and it's usually a disclaimer. The county will disclaim any responsibility for the property, and they'll disclaim any responsibility for the title. The title is cleared with a quiet title process. You can't do that. An attorney has to do it, and he has to sue everybody in sight. So if you get a treasurer's deed or a sheriff's deed or a quitclaim deed, just understand they probably have disclaimers within those. So I'm Ted Thomas. I'm going to do 2 questions, and then we're going to button it up. So the question is, what is a warranty deed? A warranty deed is what's normally used for people to pass a property transfer title from one person to the other. So let's use this as an example. I want to sell you my property. Normally, if the title is already cleared, I've owned it for a while, I can go ahead and sell it to you. Some title companies will say, do you want to give a warranty deed? In the old days, meaning 100 years ago, the seller warranted that everything was okay. Well, they don't do that anymore. Nobody warranties anything. That's why you have title insurance. It's a warranty deed. So the document is kind of a misnomer. So they still use warranty deeds, but there is no warranty taking place. That's why you buy title insurance. So the question is the homeowner or property owner still there when you buy the property at tax auction? Depends upon the state. Some states will move all the people out of the property and not even sell it for 6 months. Other states, they'll do the auction and the people might still be there. In all cases, I would say it's not a problem. What you just have to do is you hire an attorney and they'll do an eviction process, which is a process of giving them notice, and then the sheriff goes and says, look, get your butt out of here. And so that's what happens. So that's an eviction process. That might take, the longest I've ever seen one is 60 days, but that could be a complication.